According to a November 27 report by Reuters, Dominic Raab, the Secretary of State for Business and Trade in the UK, mentioned that efforts are underway to attract Chinese automakers to establish factories in the UK, emphasizing the crucial role of investments from China in achieving environmental objectives. There was a time when the excessively arrogant UK, riddled with ideological biases, particularly against cultures and products from the East, wouldn't even give them a second glance. Today, it seems the tables have turned. Why the sudden change in attitude by the UK? In this video, we'll delve into the UK's consideration of introducing Chinese electric cars, discussing the following aspects: ambitious investment plans in the UK, the UK's historical obstruction of Chinese businesses, the UK distancing itself from American influence, reasons behind the UK's shift in attitude. This is due to the Sunak government initiating ambitious investment plans. On November 27, the UK Global Investment Summit took place at Hampton Court Palace on the outskirts of London, with over 200 global executives and investors attending. The UK government's website stated, Prime Minister Sunak announced a historic investment of £29.5 billion and an addition of 12,000 new job positions during this summit. These investments will be directed towards some of the UK's most innovative sectors, including life sciences, renewable energy, housing, and infrastructure. A day before the summit, the UK government also released the Advanced Manufacturing Strategy, aiming to stimulate strategic manufacturing sectors such as automobiles, hydrogen, aerospace, by enhancing investments and fostering international cooperation to boost the UK job market. Bloomberg mentioned, the UK vigorously promotes the Advanced Manufacturing Strategy to increase employment. According to an outline by the UK Chancellor of the Exchequer, this plan's investment scale will reach £4.5 billion, encompassing various fields like automobiles, aerospace, life sciences, hydrogen, wind energy, among others. Revealed details show that the Advanced Manufacturing Strategy allocates over £2 billion for the automotive industry, including battery manufacturing, to drive technological advancements and transition towards net zero emissions. Furthermore, £975 million is earmarked for aerospace, £960 million for clean energy, and £520 million for life sciences. As reported by the Sunday Times, Mike Hawes, chief executive of the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders in the UK, stated, to achieve net zero emissions, decarbonization of the transport sector is crucial, and this transition must take place in the UK. Richard Kenworthy, general manager of Toyota Manufacturing UK, added, the UK government has a particular focus on the automotive industry, and we welcome the announcement of the new plan. However, despite the ambitions of the Sunak government, the outside world isn't quite as enthusiastic. The Guardian reported on the 28th that business leaders attending the summit aren't particularly interested in the UK's past developments but are more concerned about whether the UK can currently provide a stable investment environment. Chief Executive Officer Ian Stewart of HSBC Bank's UK branch believes that British companies are hoarding cash instead of investing due to concerns about the economy potentially shifting directions. He anticipates a turnaround not happening until the latter half of 2024. France's France 24 reported this as possibly a slogan. Moreover, external analysis suggests that the restructuring of supply chains is a lengthy process, and it might take another 2 or 3 decades for the UK to attract manufacturing back. Regarding the development of the domestic automotive manufacturing industry, UK Secretary of State for Business and Trade, Johnson, openly stated that he's actively working on enticing Chinese automakers to invest and establish factories in the UK. Investments from China are deemed crucial for achieving Britain's environmental goals. Johnson, in an interview with Reuters, expressed his strong welcome for robust cooperation between China and the UK in investments, hoping for Chinese cars to be manufactured in Britain. In response, on November 28, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin mainly conveyed that cooperation aligns with the trend, hoping the UK reciprocates by providing a fair, just, and non-discriminatory business environment for Chinese enterprises investing and operating in the UK. Why did the Chinese Foreign Ministry specifically respond, especially with the latter sentence, provide a fair, just, and non-discriminatory business environment for Chinese enterprises investing and operating in the UK? This requires asking what the UK has done. On this matter, the media provided answers. Reuters mentioned that UK Prime Minister Sunak repeatedly emphasized his stance on cooperation with China in certain areas while protecting British interests in other so-called, particularly sensitive areas. However, the UK is currently reviewing the application of its recently enacted National Security and Investment Act, NSI, which disproportionately obstructs deals involving Chinese-backed investments. In essence, the UK deliberately sets barriers for Sino-British cooperation. Moreover, British politicians and some individuals are extremely unreasonable, suffering from a severe case of China-induced persecution. Recently, The Telegraph stated that a senior UK government official, in an interview, said, "If an electric car is manufactured in countries like China, how can you ensure that this car won't gather intelligence and data?" Jim Tucker, chairman of the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders in the UK, remarked, "If networked Chinese electric cars drive around various parts of the UK, it's akin to equipping China with the most effective Trojan horse." On August 5, The Telegraph reported that British government officials suspect China will use electric cars to surveil British citizens. Jim Saker, chairman of the British Car Association, even openly declared that electric cars from China would pose a significant security threat to the UK in the future. There are even more absurd claims. Some British lawmakers assert that all electric cars from China will become tools for spying. This reflects the UK's conflicting stance, desiring to develop the electric car industry with China while wielding the flag of national security, entrenched in Cold War thinking and ideological biases, and setting barriers everywhere. However, there are positive aspects as well. This time, the Sunak government seems not to be following in the footsteps of the US. On the day the UK held the investment summit, on the 27th, Biden announced 30 new measures. Though not explicitly aimed at China, the attempts to restrict trade with China were apparent. For instance, under the guise of preventing supply chain interruptions, special alert systems and a so-called Supply Chain Resilience Committee were established. On the subsequent day, the US became increasingly closed off, while China became more open. With a more open posture, the first China International Supply Chain Promotion Expo, referred to as Chain Expo, opened in Beijing. The China Council for the Promotion of International Trade released the Global Supply Chain Promotion Report on the same day. However, this time, the UK did not indicate any intention to follow the US's lead. Instead, it expressed the intent to develop the electric car industry with China. The British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, stated, "Lord Cameron emphasises that the UK must engage with China." Why has the UK suddenly veered off course? Firstly, China's electric vehicle industry is undeniably robust, practically leading the global forefront. On November 23, a German media outlet cited a report from a German research institute, revealing that from January to September this year, Chinese manufacturers collectively exported 3.4 million vehicles overseas, surpassing Japan and Germany in export volume with a remarkable growth rate. Among these, electric vehicles accounted for 24% of the exported automobiles, more than double compared to the previous year. The study also highlighted the sustained strong performance of Chinese automakers in the electric vehicle sector. Secondly, the UK's electric vehicles have too many issues. The British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, previously reported that the UK's electric cars are excessively expensive, suffer from a scarcity of public charging stations, and lack sufficient market appeal, among other shortcomings. Furthermore, battery production poses a significant problem. The Faraday Institution in the UK stated that by 2030, the UK needs at least 5 battery factories to meet domestic demands and should have 10 by 2040. Thirdly, the UK's electric vehicle revolution has taken the wrong path. In reality, the development of the UK's electric vehicle industry didn't start late. However, due to numerous issues such as the failure of battery plants, limited government capability, inability to retain car manufacturers, and a series of wrong decisions, the UK has encountered difficulties establishing a foothold in the global electric vehicle industry. Additionally, the UK government has been humorously dubbed by the media as having a new idea every day. For instance, on June 14, 2022, it abruptly ended the £1,500 subsidy plan for plug-in hybrid models, redirecting funds toward the construction of public charging infrastructure and supporting the purchase of other electric vehicles that require further incremental increase. Current public opinion suggests that unless the UK can make the right adjustments, the prospects for the country's electric vehicle industry could dim considerably. So, what's the solution? If the UK government genuinely intends to bring in China's electric vehicle industry, it's straightforward, adopting a humble approach when seeking assistance, setting aside the arrogance of ideological biases, refraining from daily victimization delusions, citing national security, and avoiding the erratic, new idea, everyday approach. Otherwise, the future of the UK's electric vehicle industry might remain in a similarly bleak state. This is the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. We genuinely appreciate your support.